Hey everyone, this is your friendly neighborhood guitarist Ernesto Fuentes here with a very special and somewhat, well, not somewhat, uh, pretty somber introduction for you guys. Now, of course, you don't see me being my normal, cheery, happy self, as you've seen in a couple of my videos before, but as a guitarist, I was definitely devastated when I heard the news that guitar legend and one of my biggest heroes and somebody who's driven me to shred and to continue challenging myself as a musician, Eddie Van Halen passed away from throat cancer yesterday at the age of 65. And the thing that sucks the most about hearing that is that number one, it just came out of nowhere. I was just working, doing my thing, and then I get a notification on my phone, and then it just said it: breaking news: Eddie Van Halen, guitar legend, dies at age 65 of throat cancer. And I was just like, what the hell, man? Like, yo, so young, man, 65 years old, dying of throat cancer. And I mean, it especially devastated me because here I was, just kind of, thinking I never saw this coming. I mean, I knew he had it, but he ended up beating it, back, like, way back when. And man, and and it's like he just continued on. He continued doing his thing. He just continued going on, and next thing you know, the throat cancer won. You know, and it sucks, and it was truly a devastating thing. So, and as many of you guys know, I've been playing guitar since 2005, and one of my earliest inspirations, of course, were guys like Randy Rhoads, Dimebag Darrell, uh, Matt Heafy from Trivium. Yeah, I did listen to a lot of Trivium back in like 2005, as well as like Avenged Sevenfold and all these other, sort of new bands at the time. But I also listened to a lot of the older guys too, bands like, Kiss, Hendrix, Zeppelin, Van Halen, of course, and of course in his honor, I broke it out. I mean, of course you can't see it because it's kind of faded, but I mean, yeah, I'm definitely rocking the old Van Halen shirt, and in his honor. And since I've been playing in 2005, I kind of just started out playing stuff by Nirvana, very simple things, and over time, as time progressed, I began really kind of breaking out of that, just breaking out of the old power chords and, you know, simple songs, going from Bush and Nirvana and, a lot of the 90s grunge stuff, which, was mostly power chords, to even more complex stuff, and one song that really got me shredding, one song that really got me wanting to really go into shred was Eruption. I know a lot of people might, think, what, Eruption? That's not really a song, but hear me out. I mean, it may not be a song considering it was just a straight up minute plus long guitar solo where Eddie's just noodling around and just kind of going all out, you know, just really letting it rip. And when I heard that, I thought, whoa, this is at a whole nother level, man. This is like insane. And I kind of did my research on it, and of course, the song came out, I believe, in 1979, like at the very late 70s. And a lot of people haven't really heard stuff like that. I mean, sure, there were guitar solos then, and before Van Halen, you had guys like Hendrix, Clapton, Santana, uh, Alvin Lee, a lot of the guys from like the 60s and the 70s, Jimmy Page. And I mean, yeah, they had their style. They had, their hard rock style, which is kind of more sort of blues oriented, uh, very old school, you know, blues, jazz, that sort of thing. But Eddie really cranked it up a notch. He brought forth a sort of, I don't really want to say neoclassical, but kind of classically inspired uh, style into the mainstream, especially with Eruption, and a lot of other stuff too. And it really showed that he was very classically influenced. At least a lot of his earlier stuff was very classically influenced. And of course, that was sort of the dawn, the birth of shred guitar. And after that, in the 80s, you see, a lot of guys trying to, like, not really emulate his style, but just kind of show that, yeah, they were doing their homework. They were paying attention. They were really listening to what Van Halen was doing. Not to mention, as a guitarist, especially somebody who really loves the aesthetic, that's where a lot of the Fat Strats are born. I mean, case in point, I mean, this is a sort of 80s inspired shred guitar. This, my beautiful Aqua here. Yes, I name my guitars. Don't judge me. but one thing Eddie did when he began playing was, and of course you can really listen to the story in his words, and I know it's out there, just definitely look it up on YouTube. Uh, but when he was talking about his Frankenstein Strat, or the Frankenstrat, or Frankie as he sometimes, or Frankie as it's been called before, I don't know if he called it that, but yeah, but it's just the Frankenstein Strat, the one. He, didn't really have a guitar at the moment, and he was saying that he didn't really have a lot of money. So, of course, he goes to a junkyard. He goes to, like, I think it might have been a junkyard. But I remember hearing the story where he just bought a beat up old Fender Stratocaster body and, a neck that's just, kind of old. And what he did was he installed a tremolo system very much like this one, mostly a Floyd Rose, and a humbucker in the bridge position to kind of give it a fatter tone. And of course, a deactivated pickup just so it could kind of throw people off guard, and just nothing here, and like a lot of tape, and even a 1971 quarter like right about here. And of course that just became his signature sound. That became the guitar he was known for. Just this beat up old, old Frankenstein parts caster basically. And of course people kind of took notice, and they really liked that fat tone, and hence you get guitars like this. The Super Strat was basically born with Van Halen, or the Fat Strat, Super Strat, whatever you want to call it. But I'm pretty sure it's actually Super Strat. I mean, that's what, when you look at a lot of 80s guitars, whether it's from Kramer, Charvel, Hamer, like BC Rich, ESP, Jackson, of course. When you really look at a lot of those guitars, you notice that one common theme: the humbucker in the bridge position. Because when you look at a Fender Stratocaster from like way back in the day, it's just all 3 single coil pickups, and a classic vibrato piece, not like a Floyd Rose like this one has, or this is actually a licensed Floyd Rose, but close enough. But Eddie revolutionized that because he wanted that fat tone of a Gibson Les Paul on the bridge position, because Fender's Stratocasters just sort of had that. How can I put it? They had a really thinner, they had a much thinner sound, and that was it. That was, that's how you get a lot of the twang in like a lot of the old songs. But Van Halen wanted something fatter, wanted a fatter, juicier tone with his guitars, and that's how this is born. That's how guitars like this were born. So, of course, that inspired me to want guitars like this. That inspired me to really not only love fat strats and super strats, but really just love shred guitar as well. I mean, that's why I listen to guys like, of course, Van Halen, but also guys like Marty Friedman, Jason Becker, uh, Steve Vai, Tony McAlpine, Angel Vivaldi, guys like that. Those guys really continue to inspire me to shred and continue to inspire me to challenge myself on the guitar. So, of course, now it's time that I do a little something special. So, of course, I don't really know a lot of Van Halen songs, unfortunately, but this is all things I've learned, things that I've really decided to emulate thanks to Eddie Van Halen and a lot of shredders that have inspired me to shred. So thank you, Eddie Van Halen. Thank you, EVH, for inspiring me to play, for inspiring me to continue playing and to keep on going and to not give up. Rest in peace. So, without further ado, it's time to shred. thank you guys so much for watching, and I really appreciate you guys checking this out. And for those of you who haven't checked out any of Van Halen stuff, seriously, go out there, check it out. Stream it, look it up on YouTube. Whatever it takes. Just definitely listen and check out his stuff. So thank you guys so much, and big thank you to EVH upstairs. Thanks, and stay awesome, stay metal, and stay safe out there. Cheers.